Steelers, Browns. Oh, God. Where do I start with this? The Steelers offense is so pitiful. Now, typically I would say, the Browns defense just put another team once again in a chokehold. But that wasn't the case here. I mean, it was the case, but I think we just seen this over and over again now. The Steelers offense is just so anemic. Kenny Pickett, that's not it. There's the only reason I think Kenny Pickett will even get another contract with the Steelers is just simply nepotism, simply homerism, simply because he's from somewhere in Pennsylvania. I'm assuming he's from Pittsburgh somewhere. He went to Pittsburgh University. He got drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a Pittsburgh guy, deep down in his heart. Shout out to Pat McAfee. But this, it's not it. This ain't it, man. This is not it. I was looking at this earlier, and this game was so pitiful to watch. Kenny Pickett ended up with 106 yards passing. You know how crazy that is? He threw the ball 28 times and ended up with 106 yards. That is so crazy. If Jaylen Warren was not on this team, I think they would have just barely gained 150 yards. Now how wild that is. Shout out to Jaylen Warren putting the team, literally this game, putting the team on his back. But I skipped the lead. They didn't even win. They didn't pull out the usual Steelers win where they just do nothing all game and then just all of a sudden win the game. They didn't even do it. It was 10-13. Browns beat the Steelers in just a defensive slugfest with a couple big plays here. Now, really, let me stay on the Steelers. The Steelers had a few big plays, all from Jaylen Warren. If that's fair, the man really just put the team on his back. He had a 70-yard run, but even if you take the 74-yard run out, he's still at 8 carries for 55-ish yards, something like that. Which still is pretty good. That's 7 yards a carry. He was literally carrying the team. I need to know. I need to know what the third down conversion rate was, because it could have been 3 for 14, because it just seemed like every other possession was just a 3-and-out fest. Kenny Pickett's not it, man. At some point, I don't know what his contract looks like right now, when his contract is up, but I think you got to think about moving on already, because it's so bad. It's not Jordan Love, who I'll talk about later. Like Jordan Love, there's flashes of, okay, this guy can be a serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL, like as a floor. Now, will he vacillate, wildly up and down? Yeah, sure. But Kenny Pickett is just a flat line of a big nothing burger, and he throws 1 to 2 good balls a game, and so far they've gotten away with that. They've gotten away with just do something, throw, and to be fair, not to not be fair, but like most of those are just because George Pickens is so good. Like I heard, like I feel like I've heard people saying that, well, Kenny Pickett will give you the one play at the end of the game, the one play, or play the fourth quarter really well. But is it just spam George Pickens over and over again, just on a go ball? Like at some point, you guys are you're locked into his. If you don't want to give up, this year's $11 million, $8 million dead cap for letting him go next year. So you're at least probably dealing with Kenny Pickett through next year. Because I don't know if you're a Steelers fan, do you just draft another guy? Because you're not going to have a good draft pick this year. The team is too good. You're doing too well to get a good draft pick. So what do you do? you just stick with him and hope that next year there's a good quarterback in the draft, and that the last year's contract, he can just, like, the guy, the rookie behind him can do something. I don't know. Kenny Pickett it was bad, man. It was just a 3-and-out fest. On the other side of the ball, DTR was pretty good. They put the training wheels on for him. That helped. Every play is just a quick pass to the left side. They just cut the field in half, make it easy for the guy. I mean, he threw it 43 times and had 165 yards. That should tell you all you need to know right there. They ran for, 96 yards, but it wasn't anything effective, really. Jerome Ford had the touchdown, but they were moving the ball by throwing it. And, they didn't move it a lot, but they were that's how they moved the ball, was DTR throwing on second and third down. And he was okay. He didn't, blow up the game like with the 3-pick game. There was nothing like that. He just had not good, but he just had a cool, solid game. Like, there's not really a lot more I can say. He held it down. That last drive looked okay. He looked pretty good. He was moving the ball down pretty well. Hitting Njoku over the, I don't know if it was over the middle, but he hit Njoku on a really nice ball to get him into field goal range. It's crazy. Like, I know it's one game, and he showed more to me in that one drive in one game than I feel comfortable with from Kenny Pickett. Like, we talking about a guy who had 8 touchdowns last year. I don't know. I don't think the Steelers they're not contenders. They are pretenders. I don't remember if Daniel or me said they're pretenders. This team is not going to do anything real or of concern anytime soon in the playoffs or otherwise. Browns, I don't know. If DTR can just get a little better over this last stretch of the season, maybe, and just realize that I just wish DTR would realize, like, hey, just take off, buddy. Just take off. If you don't feel like it's there, you don't feel comfortable making some of those passes, just take off. You got physical skills and ability, and, just do what you got to do. But, yeah, Browns win by 3 in a last-second field goal.